William Goldenberg, editor of Air. This is your fourth Ben Affleck film. How has your relationship evolved over the years, and what kind of shorthand do you guys have now?
Well, of course, working with Ben is in every situation has been sort of one of the highlights of the highlight of my career. You know, we have a great partnership. The first thing we did together was Gone Baby Gone, and 17 years ago, I think. And that was his first film as a director. We didn't know each other, and I came in the middle of it. He wasn't happy with the cut, and I replaced an editor, and basically recut the movie from scratch, you know, without even looking at the other cut. And he sat with me on that every day, all day, next to me at the Avid, going through things, you know, frame by frame, looking at all the dailies, and just it was the two of us at the Avid all the time. And move on to Air 4 pictures later, it became, and now he's much busier as he's an executive. He has this company, Artist Equity, which is fantastic, and so he's got a lot more on his plate, and we have a much more of a shorthand. So on Air, it was a lot more just like coming into my room, giving me a few impressions, and then going and leaving. And the fortunate thing about Air was that we shot the movie in the same building that I was editing, that the production office was. We took over this office building in Santa Monica, and everything was under one roof. So while we were shooting, he was constantly coming in and out of my room between setups, you know, at lunch, at the beginning of the day, the end of the day. So we were constantly evolving the cut while we were shooting. So by the time we finished, I think we were already, as opposed to being just an assembly where he's only just viewed some scenes, he had really worked the scenes with me, but doesn't spend much time with me in the editing room anymore. You know, brief visits, I do the notes, we talk about things, and then we have screenings. So, you know, the trust that we have in the shorthand we've developed, and our similar tastes and similar styles have, you know, made the relationship, you know, better. And also we don't need to be like, you know, together at the Avid 24/7.
Right. You know each other's sensibilities.
Yeah. I mean, I think we think very, very similarly, and have very similar tastes. So we're often on the same page about stuff. So, you know, to the point where he's halfway through a sentence and I know exactly what he means, or the same goes the other way. You know, and it makes it so much more fun, and it's so much better for the picture, you know, to have that, you know, to not have to have that sort of, when you get with a new director, there's an unfamiliarity, and you have to develop a relationship and develop a trust. And now we have that going in right from day one. In fact, I think the third day of shooting, I came into my editing room at 7 a.m. and he was sitting at the Avid, you know, playing around with stuff, because he knows how to work the Avid, for better or worse. And
did he cut together any scene, anything that ended up?
You know what he did, especially in the beginning of the film, the montage, you know, the opening credit montage. There was a ton, hours and hours of that footage. And then, you know, the stock footage clips I used, I could use anything ever done in 1984. So the possibilities were endless. So he would throw a bunch of stuff, not the stock footage. He would take all the stuff that was shot at our Nike headquarters. There was 16 millimeter of video, and he would build out a select roll to a piece of music and send it over and go, okay, here's my selects for this. And then I would take it and make an edit out of it. And okay, one or two times he would cut a scene and show it to me, and then I would show him my version, and he would get all bummed out because you go, you're better at this than me. And I was like, I hope so. You know, otherwise.
So did you or he put in the Dunkin' Donuts guy?
That was me.
You did it for him.
That was me. It was actually my assistant's idea, because we had a different clip in there. There were some things we couldn't get cleared legally at the end of the day, and I can't remember what we had in there instead of that. And my assistant said, "Oh my God, we got to have a Dunkin' Donuts." And we searched high and low for a piece that would be fun, and found that, and I was very excited. It was definitely done on purpose.
It's a nice little, I don't even know if it's an Easter egg, but it's it's very meta, I guess.
Yeah. Now he's got, Artist Equity is doing Dunkin' Donuts,
Love all those ads. So
What's that?
all his Dunkin' ads.
Yeah, and they're like my assistant or my ex-assistant, one of the editor who's doing, I'm in the middle of directing a film right now, and the editor who is cutting my film cut those commercials, and they like broke the internet. So as they say, so I'm glad we put it into air. So
Yeah,
this
sure.
sort of was.
Well, one thing I love about this film is just the how you need to convey so much with body language, especially in the boardroom scene, because we don't see Jordan's face. So we just see his, how he like his restlessness like during the pitch and how he feels about it. And then also there's so many phone call scenes in this film too. And I love that, the person on the line can do things that the other person can't see because they're not in the same room together. So can you talk about like editing those types of scenes and just including, like visual, nonverbal body language to so the viewer can see like how this person's really feeling about this?
Yeah, phone calls are fantastic for that reason. I mean, on the surface, you think, oh, phone call, how boring, but it's actually can be way more fun. You can have way more fun with those scenes because of what you're just talking about, because the other person can't see you. So you could say the nicest thing while giving them the finger, like, or making a face or rolling your eyes or whatever. So it opens up all kinds of possibilities. And, with Matt and Viola and Chris Messina, that they understand that, they're such gifted actors. They understand that they can be much broader because they can't, the other person can't see them, whether it's Matt, pumping his fist and trying to stay calm in his voice, because he's so excited that the Jordan Michael may sign with them, or, Viola takes the phone away from her ear at one point during the conversation with Matt. And,
She doesn't want to listen to him.
yeah, they don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it. So, and that was all spontaneous from the actors. And so it opens up a world of possibilities. And the great thing about what they did in Air is they shot all the phone calls simultaneously. So they were in the same building, but just different parts of the building, and shot, usually 2 or 3 cameras on each actor. So I had lots of different angles and lots of different choices, and the camera's always moving. So that really gave it a lot of, energy. And so when you have things shot simultaneously like that, you get all these different things that really happen organically between 2 people, that when you shoot, oftentimes phone calls are shot, where the script supervisor is reading the lines, the off-camera lines, and you just don't get that spontaneity, and you don't get that extra magic or improvisation that you get when they're done simultaneously. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you caught the thing in the boardroom, because that was, very difficult, because I might have to show, like you say, the restlessness of Michael Jordan, without seeing his face, and, looking for those moments. And I'm not sure whether the guy who was playing Michael was just restless himself, or he was acting. I don't really know. I never spoke to him, but, luckily for me, during, like, you can see in the wide shot when they're showing the little highlight reel to him, and he starts moving around in his chair, and he puts his hand on his chin on his hand, and, all those little moments, I was able to convey what he's thinking without seeing his face. And, and then the way that Ben and Bob Richardson shot the parents was past Michael in the foreground on both sides. So you could you'd see Michael looking to his dad, or looking to his mom, or his mom looking at him. And all those moments helped me tell the story of what he was thinking without seeing his face. And I'm glad that you noticed it, because, I never know what, when people, yeah.
I feel like there's, especially when the shots of like him looking at his parents, and like they know their son, right? It's like he's not into this at all. So
yeah, no, it's again, a credit to Viola, and it's actually, I didn't even know that was her husband playing her husband,
Julius.
Julius. I didn't know that they were married until well after the shooting was done. I was just like,
you just had insane chemistry that whole time. So.
Oh my God, you should see some of the dailies where they're like, oh yeah, when you go back and look at it afterwards, you go, oh yeah, they're married.
Well, Billy, it was great speaking with you. Thanks so much for your time, and
My
we'll see you
pleasure.
back in a little bit.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.